This is Adelaide's FIVEAA.
On with showers this afternoon, 32 with the 4 o'clock news. I'm Michaela Kamarik.
All new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander with 10-year warranty, 10 years capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi.
Labor's focus is again on health as the state election campaign enters its closing stages. It comes after the death of another man overnight while waiting for an ambulance. Opposition leader Peter Malinauskas says something has to be done.
The only thing that matters here is getting a government in charge that has a plan to address the ramping crisis.
While Premier Stephen Marshall is instead focusing on economic management.
So we're asking the people of South Australia to think very carefully, to not take a risk on this Saturday, going to the union boss to run South Australia. He's been out there with reckless promises, reckless spending, and we all know when Labor spends, it's you who pay.
And former Prime Minister John Howard has joined the campaign trail today, talking up the Premier.
It is amazing the job this man has done in just 4 years. I mean, I don't want to see South Australia slip back into the slow economic lane, and there's a real danger that'll happen if it returns a Labor government.
There's been a surge in COVID cases with 3,122 new infections recorded across the state. There are 136 people in hospital, 10 in ICU and 2 on a ventilator. No deaths have been reported today. Australians will soon be able to take a holiday in New Zealand if they are fully vaccinated. The reopening is being brought forward, but visitors will need a negative COVID test before and after arrival. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern hopes this move will spur her country's economic recovery.
We're ready to welcome the world back. And today I can confirm from 11:59pm, Tuesday 12 April, vaccinated Australians can travel to New Zealand.
Australia is intensifying its personal attacks on Russian President Vladimir Putin. Over the past 3 weeks, Moscow has carried out a full-scale military invasion of Ukraine, killing civilians and forcing hundreds of thousands to flee. Russia's economy is struggling under the weight of economic sanctions imposed by Western countries. Speaking at the United States Studies Centre, Defence Minister Peter Dutton says President Putin has made a major mistake.
He has been a paranoid and utterly ruthless operator, so his actions should come as no surprise. He harbours a deep and enduring resentment toward the West, and he wants more than anything to restore an imperial Russian empire with himself in absolute control.
A parliamentary committee has handed down its final report into the dangers of social media. The Select Committee on Social Media and Online Safety has heard dozens of stories of online abuse from individuals and organisations since November. Expanding the role of the E-Safety Commissioner in educational programs is among 26 recommendations. Now turning to FIVEAA Sport.
Pay way less for your auto parts. Call Hotline Auto Parts on 131 740 today.
There'll be 3 new faces in Crows colours in their season opener this weekend. Josh Rochelle, Jake Saligo and Jordan Dawson will make their debut against Freo on Sunday. Match Crouch, Wayne Miller and Mitch Hinge have also been named to play after overcoming injury. The season gets underway tonight with Melbourne taking on the Bulldogs in a grand final rematch. You can hear the action live here on FIVEAA. Adelaide United will face off against the Western Sydney Wanderers tonight as they look to make it 4 wins in a row at Coopers Stadium. A win would cement the Reds in 3rd spot on the A-League table. And Pakistan is 2 for 204, needing 302 runs to beat Australia on the final day of the 2nd test in Karachi. Now checking FIVEAA traffic.
Slippery conditions with the wet weather. Do take some extra care. A few collisions around too. One at Ranella, Sheriff's Road near Hillier Road. Another on Brighton Road near Redwood Street. One at Enfield, Grange Junction Road near Devon Street. And another collision at Croydon Park, Torrens Road near South Road. Busy South Road near Anzac Highway. And we've got cameras Peacock Road in the city and 6th Avenue at Joslin. Improve the fuel efficiency of your car by as much as 30% with an ultra-tuned manufacturer's logbook service. Ensure your car is running at its best. Search Ultra Tune for a service centre near you. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota forklift advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Warm with showers this afternoon, 32. Mostly sunny tomorrow, 29. Friday partly cloudy, 27. And Saturday much the same, 31. Right now it's 21. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News Tonight.
The poll that says Stephen Marshall is about to lose the election. See the moment security guards kick out a man with an assistance dog. Did they go too far? Tiny toy time bomb, the urgent safety warning to parents. The link between endometriosis and ovarian cancer. And Australians now allowed to travel to a favourite overseas destination. I'm Brenton Raglis. See the full story on 9 News tonight at 6.
This is Rowey's Sports Show. Stephen Rowe and Lee Forrest.
7 minutes after 4, you know what day it is. Footy is back. We are 2 hours away from heading to the MCG. Melbourne and the Western Bulldogs. It starts what is a footy frenzy, and you will hear it right here on your home of Footy 5AA. Rowey is like a kid in a candy store.
Look.
It's Christmas Day. Yeah. You can see the presents under the tree. You're ready to go. How excited are you?
Well, no, it is. It's great to be back. Lee, thank you. And a nice drenching rain before we get into it over Adelaide, so please drive carefully. We're already getting road weather alerts coming through. We don't have any cattle crashes, any bingle, so let us know. We'll steer you home. And you're right, the wait is over. It's live on 5AA from 6:30. I'll try and watch the entire game. On a school night, I struggle a little bit to get to 10 or 10:30. If it's a great game, I certainly will. But we've got a great show tonight, in my humble opinion. I love Kevin Sheedy, so Sheeds will join us. His round one record for 27 years at Essendon was 19 wins, 8 losses. So you'd say he's a round one expert, so we'll get his take on that. The great Lee Matthews, 11 wins and 7 losses for round one. Brodie Smith from the Crows, he won round one last year against Geelong. Was the best game the Crows played all year. And how's this? The voice of Formula One, David Croft in Bahrain. Round one starts this weekend. He is the voice, the star.
Yeah, he is, and we need to set this up because of the time difference. We had to do this via Zoom earlier. It's the first time he is friend of show, and if you're watching Drive to Survive on Netflix, you would love the Formula One. He is the voice of Formula One. But it's the first time that you and David Croft have actually seen each other. You've spoken many times now, but you've never interacted until today. So this was an interesting takeout.
You look nothing like you sound, Rowey.
Don't I? How did you think I looked? Slimmer?
Well, slimmer, about 20 years younger, blonde hair, kind of surfboard in your hand, that sort of thing.
Stop it. I'm a fisherman, a hunter and a gatherer, a farmer. I shoot anything that moves, Crofty. I'd put a slug in your leg if you were here.
Friend of show you're about to shoot. But
first time I met him, and I'm telling him I'm going to put a slug in his leg.
I know, how good's that? So it almost feels like, I think the summer of sport has been pretty flat, to be fair. There is an added excitement we haven't seen, I don't think, for the footy to start, and the Formula One's on the weekend after what we've seen with Drive to Survive. That's exciting too. So.
Well, it is escapism a bit. When you think about what we've had to deal with probably since the grand final. I mean, COVID has struck. It's getting even more. We had record numbers today. We've had floods on the eastern states. It breaks your heart to see it on the 7, 9 and 10 News and ABC, whoever you watch, just to see the heartache of people that have lost their houses, to what's happening in Russia. Our heart goes out to them. You can switch off tonight and just watch the footy for what it is. The best game in the world.
And right now, your team doesn't stink.
No.
They may by the end of the weekend, but right now,
the scoreboard's not all.
So exciting.
And you've got the hope, the expectations of the whole season in front of you, which is great. 6 Crows are confirmed for round one, and this is terrific. Prize recruit Jordan Dawson, he's recovered from a calf. He'll be so important to him. Josh Rochelle and Jake Saligo will debut, the 2 young lads they got in the draft last year. I'm wrapped for them. My little boy did it last year. These two this round. It is just, it's the best thing as a parent, as a family and a lad. Your first game you will never, ever, ever forget, and I hope they remember theirs with a win. And back from long-term injury, there's some good stories here. Matty Crouch, Mitchy Hinge with his AC, and Wayne Miller. And I'm so wrapped they played Wayne Miller. I want to play a bit of this. This was Matty Nix last week with me about Junior. Wayne Junior Miller, he excites me. Just get the Ferrari out the shed and get him in.
I heard you mention that one, the Ferrari, and I agree with you, Rowey, and I do love the way he plays football. He's a genuine, he's one of the greatest awareness off the field.
Well, Wayne Junior Miller should shake my hand and give me a hug. All due credit to myself, I got him in the team.
Well, the Ferrari is no longer in the shed.
All due credit to myself.
I like
well,
it.
hang on, you don't take a Ferrari out in the rain.
No.
So is it going to be right on Sunday?
You will be fine.
You know what? I love that. Play him. And they are. That is superb. Port had a day off. Fingers crossed for Josh Sin and Jackson Mead to debut. Their team selection will be tomorrow. Here's Brownlow medalist Ollie Wines.
We know what's going wrong there, and it is the contest and winning the contest and getting out number ball. So that's certainly something that we've put a lot of work into over the pre-season. And the first Gold Coast game, it wasn't there. It was there against the Crows. So it's something we know win and loses our games, and particularly those games we get blown out, it gets blown away. So we know it's a big KPI for us, and we'll have to be on to it Saturday night.
Everyone's making big calls around the sport room because footy's back. I'm going to make one on Port. I haven't done one this year. Zach Butters stays sound, plays every game to the level we know he can. He'll win Port's best and fairest and finish in the top 5 of the BNF.
Like it.
It's probably not that big a statement, but I think that's how important. No wonder he's Ken's love child.
Oh, he's super important.
Yeah.
And he just hasn't
And
had a
he's
good
in the
run at
midfield
it.
now. And Timmy G, I'm going to love having him on Mondays, and we'll be able to interact with him, Port supporters, on Mondays by calling us on Mondays after your game. There's your growth, those boys in the midfield. And everyone's going, oh, I got the same team, the same coach, the same thing. No. Just wait and see. Speak to Timmy on Monday.
Big game, Brisbane.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Huge game.
They're the two games I worried about, the Crows game and the Port game, and in that order. I mean, honestly, the rest gives.
But see, Monday, I mean, already right now your team's good.
Yeah.
Monday when Tim comes in, Monday when Bix comes in, who knows what it will deliver after the first weekend.
Hey, our cobber Mark Robinson, he's on AFL 360. He spoke with AFL boss Gil McLachlan, and he asked a very good question.
Well, officially, you shouldn't run on the ground, but it'd be a good look, wouldn't it? Be good. Leave him alone, and I can't endorse it, but it wouldn't be the worst.
You are endorsing it.
Let us have it. It's just a big deal to have 1,000 goals.
Oh,
who knows when it happens again?
Somehow we just cut Robbo's question.
So the question was?
The question was, when Buddy Franklin kicks his 1,000th goal, he needs 5. They play the Giants round 1 in Sydney. Should fans run onto the ground? And Gil said, well, officially they shouldn't, but you kind of can because it's a once-in-a-generation
I want to see this. I want to see the Gil run onto the ground or Brad Scott.
That's right. Could you
the
imagine
footy boss or the AFL boss. But he's played 318 games. He's kicked 995 goals. He averages 3.12 goals a game. Sydney have GWS round 1. He could do it round 1. And then it's at the SCG round 2 versus Geelong. I think it more than likely is going to be that. To kick 1,000 goals is about longevity. So you've got to play at least 300 games or thereabouts. And you've got to have a high average. So I'm making this call. I doubt we'll ever see 1,000 goals kicked again.
Correct.
Now, that's maybe not a big statement because you think about how the game's played now. Plugger Lockett, 281 games, averaged 4.83 goals a game, kicked 1,360. And the reason I say I doubt it'll ever happen again, who are some of the better ones that are playing now? I look at Tom Hawkins, 665 goals. Averages 2.22.
Just over halfway, Tommy.
That's what I mean. Taylor Walker's 31 years of age. He's kicked 489 goals. No. He averages exactly the same as Tom Hawkins, 2.22. I look at, could it be a small? Could it be a little league? The best small we've seen in the last 2 decades, even longer, is Eddie Betts. He played 350 games and kicked 640 goals at 1.82.
Yep.
Now, you think, well, Harry Mackay won the Coleman last year.
He did.
Could he? Well, he's 25.
Yeah.
He's kicked 129 goals in 69 games.
That's right. He only kicked 58 only.
But that's what I'm saying. Dixon, 294. Go through them all. Could the King brothers do it?
No.
Any of the King brothers?
No.
Could Thilthorpe do it?
You won't see multiple 100-year goal years again.
So to answer the question, Gil, and to answer the question, Brad Scott, one of you has to run out on that ground.
Like it.
You have to.
Maybe together.
Holding hands.
Remember Mods kicked...
Leith, holding hands.
Skipping through
You
the
would
tulips.
never see that again. That's all I'm saying.
Do you remember Mods kicked 100 goals once and didn't win the Coleman? Like, finished second.
Yeah.
So, it can happen. No.
Anyway, do it. Pakistan batted all day like snails yesterday. Finished 2 for 192 off of 82 overs. It's day 5. At the start of the play, and they've been going for 3 overs now, Pakistan needed 314 runs from 90 overs. I'm saying this. Could they?
Could we?
Could they? Surely not. Surely not.
Midway through the second session, we'll know. Are they half a chance, and then they might go for it?
2 things. They need Warney. God bless him. If Warney was in that team, you'd be a Monty to bowl them out in 2 days. 2 days? Give me a spell on a flat track. Nathan Lyon and Swepson are just doing nothing. They're not world class. These blokes are just sitting there tonking around. And secondly, this is the other thing. It took 24 years for Australia to go into Pakistan. I'm happy if we take another 24 to come back. Ball or ring.
It's been dreadful.
As boring as bat droppings.
Boring.
Exactly right, Homer.
Serious.
That's why the footy's so exciting, because the summer has been so bad.
Yeah. And last one, 822 300 Adelaide Oval has a new boss. His name's Nick Addison. He's from the VRC. We're going to speak to him after the break, Leith. Yep, we'll speak to him after the break. So what would you want him to do to make Adelaide Oval a better experience for you? I'll give you a couple.
Okay.
Want you to call, have your say. We're open now. I want Villy's Pies in at Adelaide Oval.
Okay.
Villy's Pies.
Yep.
Boom.
South Australian Institution.
Matani chicken salt.
Yes, bring the Matani chicken
Whatever
salt.
happened to
Dunno.
Matani chicken salt?
Used to absolutely...
I'm going to say this to Nick. Nick, bring back the Martani. I want a roof.
There won't be a roof.
I want a roof.
Okay.
And I want one of those 100-metre new
super
screens from Harvey Norman that they put at Bloomin', what's the name?
Marvel.
I want a screen to go the whole length of the grassy knoll to iron out the fig trees.
The wraparound.
Just that is just an entire screen.
Nice.
I want it to be bigger than any screen in the world.
Sexy is what Gil McLaughlin described the new ones at Marvel Stadium. So
sexy.
You want a sexier screen.
Nick Addison, after the break, what do you want at Adelaide Oval with the new boss that'll make your experience better? Get to it.
8223 0000. You can send us a text. Get to us via the email, or if you're watching the Facebook live stream, just drop us a message there. Nick, as Rowey mentioned, to come up, and then it's a footy frenzy. We are hours away from the first game of the 2022 season. Listen to these names: Brodie Smith, Kevin Sheedy, Lee Matthews. I mean, doesn't get bigger.
He's got a statue.
He has got a statue. Your calls next. What improves your experience at the Adelaide Oval? We'll find out and speak to the new boss.
A fringe favourite for all ages, Gluttony is back in Rymel Park for 2022. Your home of the bigger shows, Gluttony is the ultimate fringe destination. Plus, don't forget to check out the FIVEAA food market on the city side of Rymel Park, serving up cuisines from around the world, plus your usual festival favourites, the perfect accompaniment for any show. For more information, visit gluttony.net.au or download the free app. FIVEAA, proud partner of Gluttony and 2022 Adelaide Fringe.
Get back on the road in the all-new Toyota Hilux at Jarvis Toyota. A 2.8 litre diesel delivering 20 kilowatts more power, plus over 10% improved fuel economy. Rediscover the road in the all-new Toyota Hilux at Jarvis Toyota.
There is so much at stake for my family in this election. The Liberal government wants to remove exemptions that allow Christian schools to hire teachers with our values. The Victorian Labor government passed a law that controls what I can say to my kids about sex. A Labor MP wants to bring the same laws to SA. I need a party that loves my family the same way I do.
Put your family first. Vote Family First. Authorised by Jason Elling for the Family First Party, Oakton, South Australia.
29.5 overs, none for 70, Mitch Swepson on debut. Hard one against Pakistan, but I'll give you a tip. You're not going to bowl everyone around their legs.
No.
Goodness me. Hey, if you're fitting out a workshop, not that I'm Shane Warne, God bless, or ever done a bit of spin bowling,
yeah, right.
Terry Jenner, but come on, dude. Hey, if you're fitting out a workshop, your shed or rooms around the home, and you need some extra storage, forget the flat pack. Oh, God, if I go down that shop again one more time and have to screw something together, I'll go bunter. Go to Sharman Shelving. Sharman Shelving all the way. Here's the thing we love about Sharman Shelving. It is all done for you. It's not flat packed. So if you're not going to sit there for hours trying to bloody put the A to the B to the C to the D and something's missing and you do your nana. You ever put stuff together from you know where? You do your nana. Absolutely do your nana. Do what I did, call Sharman Shelving. They'll come out, give you a free measuring quote, then deliver and assemble it all for you. Or, if you want to assemble it yourself, they'll give you all the support you need. And honestly, you'll save money and time. When it comes to storage solution, everyone needs a little Sharman in their life. 412 North East Road, Windsor Garden, sharmanshelving.com.au. Take a look at them on Facebook.
Hi, I'm Peter Berkowitz from Berkowitz Furniture. We're having a massive short sharp sale right now. Save at least 25% store-wide. Save hundreds on sofas, chairs, dining and more, including our great Australian-made brands. Blink and you'll miss it. It's the Berkowitz Short Sharp Sale. Save at least 25% on RRP. We're not just a furniture store, we're an Aussie furniture family. Mile End Homemaker Centre. Sale ends Sunday.
It may not be that exciting to learn that Playford Pavers are one of the few companies that still make their own pavers on site. Riveting, isn't it? But what if I told you that because Playford Pavers make their own pavers for driveways, entertaining areas and pathways, you pay a lot less? How good is that? Pay less at Playford Pavers. Visit playfordpavers.com.au.
In times of loss, you need Embrace. Arranging Mum's funeral was never going to be easy. But Deanne Edwards from Embrace Funerals truly cared about delivering the perfect funeral to honour her life, to share our beautiful family memories, along with those of the many other lives she'd touched. Every detail of Mum's funeral was created with exceptional care and at a really affordable cost. Embrace Funerals gave us peace of mind. When funerals need to be perfect, choose Embrace.
Scraped your caravan? Walker Crash Repairs, an RAA approved caravan crash repairer.
This is Rowey's Sports Show.
23 minutes after 4, the new CEO of the Adelaide Oval very shortly. Text messages coming through. We'd love your calls. What experience could happen at the Adelaide Oval to improve your game day? Lots of people getting on it in the text message. Rowey, get some Cooper's Pale Ale at the Oval. Sick of some of the others. Best Oval in the world deserves the world's finest beer alongside the world's best pies. Adelaide Oval should have an SNFL shop, just like they used to at Footy Park, says
That's
Gary
a
of
great text.
Mile End.
That is a great text.
Quentin with a Q says, excited for the start of the season. First season for the rest of my team's life. Could be the start of a great decade of great seasons. He's a Suns supporter. Thinks a bit of success coming his way. This one from David at Para Hills. Rowey, they have Balfours at the Adelaide Oval, South Australian and a Crows sponsor. But we could do with some cheaper beer. I'm sure that would be for a lot of people. Get the food and bev down.
Oh, I'm a Villies man.
A little bit. And someone wants Cornsey to no longer wear the leather pants to the Port Adelaide games just to improve their experience.
He doesn't like that.
Have your say. What would improve your experience at the Adelaide Oval? Because right on the other side of the traffic is the new boss. First, if you're buying your first Mazda, trading in or servicing, got to be edwardstownmazda.com.au.
Slippery conditions on the roads. Do take some extra care. A few collisions are out as well. One at Clarence Gardens. That's on Crossroad at Winston Avenue. Another one at Ranella, Sheriff's Road near Hillier Road, and one at Enfield causing delays, Grand Junction Road near Devon Street. Bridgewater got a tree down across the freeway near Carey Gully Road, extensive delays inbound with cameras Gage Street Firl and Jeffcott Street North Adelaide. Invoicing but instantly, receipts but organised. Business is better with online accounting from Xero. Try free for 30 days. Search Xero, that's XCRO. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Well, terrific news. This SMA has a new boss. It's Nick Addison. He's from the VRC. He joins us now. Nick, congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Rowey. It's certainly a great privilege to be in the role, and very much looking forward to it.
Well done. What enticed you to the role at Adelaide Oval?
Look, I think most people would agree it's an incredibly iconic venue, and its reputation precedes it. And when you look at the history associated with the venue, that it's over 150 years old, but the way that the stakeholders have been able to progress and take the venue into the future, it just presented as a fantastic opportunity for someone like me that is, really passionate about sport and sports administration. So it was an opportunity too good to refuse.
What can you bring to, we think, the country's best stadium? From the VRC, you had the Melbourne Cup, the Spring Carnival, the Oaks, the Caulfield. What can you transition across to us, Nick?
Businesses, and particularly in the sports and entertainment world, continue to move forward and continue to, grow returns for key stakeholders. And I think through my time in sports administration, I've really enjoyed the opportunity to create value and drive that value for the key stakeholders. So I'm certainly looking forward to getting in and growing the pie for all the stakeholders involved in Adelaide Oval, and that includes all the residents of South Australia as well.
Yeah, it's an unusual setup because we've got Saka that's half, we've got Sample that's half, you've got Crows and Port, you've got a lot of different stakeholders. You're owned by the Adelaide City Council. It's a little bit political at times. Nick, you ready? Are you ready for that?
Rowey, having spent over 10 years in the racing world, I'm used to multiple stakeholders and fragmentation and so forth. So the racing industry is certainly has its structures that are very much state based, and then also a number of stakeholder layers within the state. So I feel I'm well prepared for that. But absolutely everything you said there is exactly right, and that'll be something that I'll very much need to get my teeth into. But sort of getting back to if we're growing the pie for everyone, then all the stakeholders should be happy with that.
Yeah, North Adelaide residents, I forgot to mention them in the Pinky Flat, but we won't mention the war. Nick, some of us want a roof, others move the scoreboard, others build a northern grandstand, get rid of the grassy knoll. Have any of them landed on your desk?
Not as yet, Rowey. I'm sure there's a big folder for me somewhere that's got a whole range of issues, for me to get stuck into. But anything great is hard at times, Rowey. Okay. So I think that's part of making it the iconic venue that it is, that there is always things to discuss and debate and review. And as I say, I'm sure there's a folder somewhere with my name on it.
Beautiful. Look, I've got you on, Nick Addison from the VRC, SMA's new boss. Fantastic. We're going to start here. I feel like I've got a bit of an association with you already, Nick. I've got a couple of just minor requests myself. I wouldn't mind Matani chicken salt back at the stadium. Can we get onto that?
I'm making notes as we're talking, Rowey. So
that's number one.
I'm more than happy to.
I think Hoffy needs a pay rise. He's the best curator in the world.
He's exceptional. I actually had some time with him out on the ground earlier today.
Okay.
Well, he and his team are incredibly impressive.
That's two. And the last one, we want the KG Media Centre. It's not named, and I think while we've got the great KG around and kicking, I think we need to name it the KG Media Centre. So there's just three easy ones for you.
I've jotted all those down, Rowey, and I am familiar with KG.
Fantastic.
Over in Victoria, and I'll follow that one through with the team in due course when I'm on board.
You can tell me when I'm cheeky, Nick, anytime. Now I heard you're a Hawks man.
I am, Rowey.
Okay.
Yes, whether that's good or bad for me in this state, but I'm open and honest about that. So I've had a good life as a Hawks man.
All right. Well, you might have to clip them because there's two big teams here, Crows and Port.
There is, and very much invested in the success of both clubs in this role. So I'll certainly be following both very, very closely.
Intrinsically aligned to them. When do you start?
Look, just working through commencement dates and departure dates with my current employer, but I'm looking around mid to late June at the moment to be on the ground here full time. So really looking forward to that.
Well, a great resume, a great reputation. We're blessed to have you. You haven't started yet. Welcome to Adelaide. You'll never move back to Victoria once you've seen the light. Trust me on that, Nick. You won't. You'll love it here. All the best.
Look forward to talking more.
Fantastic. There we go. Nick Addison, he is SMA's new boss, head of Adelaide Oval, our guest.
Impressive man, impressive resume, big job. But
It is a big job.
When you come from the Melbourne Cup and Flemington, you've got a good
You know what
CV.
you're doing. Great CV. Hey, just quickly, a Sip and Save text, and it just landed as we speak, and I'm so sorry I didn't ask this, but he doesn't start till May. It's a tough one. But, Rowey, could you ask Nick, when does the SMA plan on dropping the vaccine mandate so all can enjoy the facility? Cheers. Would have been a great question. Not that he'd know or ever discussed it, and he probably would have said, well, look, no comment.
Correct.
But it'd be on it. It'd be in that folder.
That's an Andrew Daniels one until May.
Correct. It'll be in his folder.
Yep. A couple of other people said maybe turn down the noise, a little loud, hard to hear conversation in the member stand. Someone else wanted Aperol Spritz, but I love your suggestion. It has to be the Ken Cunningham Media Centre. It is an absolute no-brainer. Umpired, commentated, cricket, nobody represents the Adelaide Oval more, and without KG, none of us exist in this role right now with sports radio.
Driving 5AA is Kenneth George Cunningham.
In the MCG, it is the Ron Casey Media Centre. Mike Sheehan's got a room at AFL House. We need to name that after KG, and without being rude, he needs to be around to see it, to show him how loved he is. So
I hope that came across well. Cage wouldn't mind that, but it just... How many names have they got around the damn thing? They got 4 names on one stadium, for crying out loud.
That's right.
They've got a race, they've got a barbecue, the Cornsey.
Cornsey's got the deck, and that's well deserved. KG needs to be on the other side.
Yeah, Andrew McLeod's got stairs going down into a room.
I know.
Kenneth George Cunningham Media Centre. Do it.
Fight the good fight. News headlines next on the other side. Part of the family, and we're looking forward to having Brodie Smith with us again in 2022.
5AA Breakfast. Former Prime Minister John Howard, do you think that Stephen Marshall can still do it from here?
I do. I think he deserves to win because he has taken South Australia out of the slow economic lane. But politics is never very predictable and you always have to work hard to the very end.
Informing Adelaide. There's a bloke who knows a bit about what it's like to be written off. 6 a.m. weekdays on 5AA. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Good afternoon, I'm Michaela Kamarek. A review has been launched into another death of a patient while waiting for an ambulance, the 5th in 8 days. Australians will soon be able to take a holiday in New Zealand if they are fully vaccinated. There's been a surge in COVID cases with 3,122 new infections recorded across the state. And the AFL season gets underway tonight with the grand final rematch between Melbourne and the Bulldogs. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Slippery conditions on the roads. Do take some extra care. A few collisions are out as well. One at Clarence Gardens, that's on Cross Road at Winston Avenue. Another one at Ranella, Sheriff's Road near Hillier Road. And one at Enfield causing delays, Grand Junction Road near Devon Street. Bridgewater got a tree down across the freeway near Carey Gully Road. Extensive delays inbound with cameras Gage Street, Firle and Jeffcott Street, North Adelaide. Invoicing but instantly, receipts but organised. Business is better with online accounting from Xero. Try free for 30 days. Search Xero, that's XCRO. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Showers easing tonight, 20. Sunny tomorrow, 29. Right now it's 21. More news at 5 o'clock and As It Happens on 5AA.
North Point Toyota is donating a community vehicle to organisations in need. I'm here with Leah from the Ambulance Employees Association. Leah, what does the North Point community vehicle mean to you?
North Point's community vehicle means so much. The Ambos are really doing it tough. Having the opportunity to get out and visit them on the front line with a snack and a chat goes a long way.
Inquire about how North Point Toyota's community vehicle can help your organisation. Supporting our community. It's the North Point way.
Hi, I'm Izzy and my family runs St. Louis Home Care, which was started by my great-grandma 75 years ago. I wanted to introduce you to Deb, a carer and our receptionist. She's great.
Hi, Izzy.
Deb, you've been at St. Louis for 10 years. What do you love about it?
Oh, it's a great family-friendly environment and everyone's happy.
That's because St. Louis got them covered.
With everything from shopping and meals to gardening and home maintenance.
And don't forget the social activities. Google St. Louis Home Care to find out how my family can help take care of yours.
Introducing Pub Aerobics.
Okay, people, all masked and cured. Good job. Now follow me. Sit down. Stand up. Sit down. Stand up.
Restrictions in pubs, sitting or standing, have eased. Yippee!
Now, people, we all have a glass in our hand. What do we say? Cheers, cheers, cheers. Good job. Stay hydrated, people.
It's time we had some fun. A message from the AHASA. Thank you.
Want to score a $20 shopping treat? This Friday and Saturday you can with Maya Centre shopping rewards. Just spend a total of $150 within any Maya Centre stores and you'll get a free $20 Maya Centre gift card to spend however you like. New accessories? Lunch and latte? Just spend $150 in the Maya Centre Adelaide, show the concierge your receipts and you'll get your $20 gift card. Head to the Maya Centre website or see the concierge for details. T's and C's apply.
There are some things in SA that are better off together, like the Popeye and the Torrens, Fritz and Sauce, the Mall's Balls. But if you're after the perfect pair, you can't go past your seniors card paired with a National Pharmacies membership. Your seniors card entitles you to an exclusive National Pharmacies membership offer, and you'll benefit with up to 70% off prescription medication, 20% off prescription glasses and sunnies, and much more. So talk to our friendly team at National Pharmacies and join the community that cares for yours.
Walker Crash Repairs. For easy insurance repairs on your caravan, get it fixed right with Walker Crash Repairs.
This is Rowey's Sports Show.
24 minutes to 5. If it's footy you want, you're on the right station. The home of footy 588 all starts tonight with Melbourne taking on the Western Bulldogs. And the biggest names in football you'll hear on Rowey's Sports Show tonight. Stuart Acumley Matthews, Kevin Sheedy, and now, thanks to ASA Couriers, if you need something delivered for your business, don't risk it. You can ace it with ASA Couriers. It's our great mate, Brody Smith.
Smith goes long with his right leg. Off one step, he's kicked it! Smith has kicked it from the middle of the ground. It was an unbelievable kick. Yeah, round one starts tonight, then Sunday from 3:40. Crows take on Freo. Joining us is Brody Smith. B. Smith, welcome. It's back. Footy's back.
Rowey, how you going? Good to be back.
Yeah, brilliant. What's round one mean to you?
There's always a bit more in round one. It's always very exciting. Obviously, you wait a long time for footy season to come around, and thankfully this year for us, it's even more exciting with a few new faces coming in as well. So round one's always a bit more hyped up, and there's a bit more on the line, I reckon, so it's always exciting.
Yeah, it is. Where do you put round one for importance? Obviously, finals, if you make it, is the games you want to play, but I always thought as a player, you make round one, it's confidence from the coaching group to you that you're in the best 22, and away you go. What about you?
Yeah, I think outside of obviously finals, as you said, and then showdown, round one's the biggest game of the year. Everyone's you want to be in the round one side. Everyone's pumped up for it, and obviously going 1-0 is a lot better than going 0-1. So hopefully we can do that Sunday, Arvo.
Well done. How tough was this pre-season compared to others?
Yeah, it was tough. It was a bit different. It was more sessions, so Burjo's a bit more of you get your sore and then you have to back up the soreness. So it wasn't so much that we were doing ridiculous sessions. It was more about backing up solid sessions. So at 30, it's not really what you want to come in, doing more sessions and being sore and sore, but we really enjoyed it. Boys are definitely fit, and he's been really impressed with our numbers. So coming from a guy like him, that's good signs for us.
Isn't it? Gives you confidence. Two debutants, Josh Rochelle and Jake Saligo. All I hear out of the club is these two are absolute rippers from the minute they step foot in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rash has got a few tricks, so hopefully we can see some of them on the weekend. But, all we ask of these guys is to play his role. So as long as he's chasing and then tackling, hopefully there's a couple of bonus goals on the end of that for us. And then Solly's just a really honest player. He'll work his absolute guts out for us, does the hard stuff. He's really tough. So, yeah, they deserve their opportunity 100% and can't wait to play with them.
Bugger the chasing and tackling, B. Smith. If Josh Rochelle's got all those tricks and we've seen him, get him near goal and get him hitting the scoreboard. I hope they let him play. He's would.
He's making my job a lot easier down the field if he's forcing defenders with some rough kicks down the line. But yes, I'd like him to kick a checky from the boundary for sure.
Jordan Dawson's first game for the Crows. That's fantastic.
Yeah, another guy, obviously, he's come in. He's played a bit of footy over at Sydney, but he's been so impressive in the pre-season. So a little bit of a hiccup the last couple of weeks with his cast, but totally back him in with his experience and the fitness he had prior to that to come in and have an impact for us. And he absolutely dominated and matched him through the pre-season. So we're really excited to have Dawson inside.
One of the upsides for me I see with the year as it progresses, we haven't spoken about Wayne Jr. Miller yet, but you, Dawson, Hinge, Miller, the run, the carry, the meter headers, then we've got Seed still waiting to get back there. When you five are in that team, I think it's when the Crows are going to truly see the power of the footy club. I think that's going to be a day to behold. B. Smith. What do you think?
Yeah, it'll be exciting. It's
will.
it's really good for us, and obviously we know how good Junior is. It's just, unfortunately for him, hasn't been able to get in the park, so I'm pumped to see him back. He's one of my favourite players. So
He is.
to play alongside him and watch him dish out a few don't argues. He actually sat your son on his ass today at training, so you might have to check his chest when he gets home because Junior put one straight through him. But yeah, he's a ripper. He's really exciting for us. And as you said, the more run and carry guys, and gives us the ability to move around from wing to half back as well, and we can throw a few different looks at the opposition. So it's exciting for us.
Well, I know it's ridiculous to say, really, but your round one win versus Geelong last year, when no one gave you snowball's hope in hell, a standing ovation at half time, you went on to win by 12 points. It was possibly the best game for the year. You kicked 15 goals, 13. You hit the scoreboard. Tex kicked 5. Are you tracking the same way? Have you got the same feel about this round one game versus Freo, B. Smith?
Yeah, we are. And we're looking to attack that game in similar fashion.
Good.
So we really want to come out strong against Freo and really hit him in the first quarter like we did to Geelong. So that's the game plan going in. And as you said, the fans are pretty happy to see it last year. So the more we can bring that this year, and if we can bring it consistently as well, then we're going to put a lot of teams under pressure and kick some scores against them. So, as I said, tackle hard and do all the hard stuff, and then we get guys like Rash in the game afterwards, and we can start kicking some goals and celebrate.
Yeah, it's infectious when you can do that. Fremantle, they look solid. Have you scouted them? What are their threats?
They've been pretty good. It's hard because they've played West Coast twice, so it's hard to get a good read on them. But obviously, a quality side. We played really well against them last year and just let ourselves down in a 10-minute patch where they kicked a bit of a score and took away the game. So obviously, Mundy and Fife in the midfield, and they've got a really good back line as well that can take intercept marks and move the footy. So we've scouted how they like to move the ball, so we know we need to be on our toes, and if we can shut them down in our forward half, then we'll play the game there and hopefully take the game away from them.
Yeah, it was round 5 last year. I think 4 points up into that last quarter, and then their stars just starred and they took it away from you. Have you fully recovered from COVID?
Yeah, I'm all good now. So I had a few days where it wasn't pretty there, but got my training in and I haven't felt any effects. Obviously played the trial game a couple of weeks ago and felt pretty good. I guess it's normal in your first trial game to feel a bit gassed in the second half. So I've had no other effects outside of that, and all the other boys haven't either, as far as I know. That everyone's come back and trained well, so we're really looking forward to it.
Did you have to have any doctor's test or pass or any scans or anything like that when you came back from COVID, or is it just you feel better, you're back in the group, and just take it easy and then get your breath back?
No, so everyone had to go and see the doc before they trained, and he does his heart rate and blood pressure and all that sort of thing, and then they just monitor that group. We had about 16 of us in the end that had it at the same time, so they just kept an eye on us on the track, and if anyone was short of breath or chest pains or any of that thing, it was straight off. So they were really good at managing it, but as I said, thankfully everyone's feeling really good coming out of COVID, so hopefully it's all behind us.
Now you're in season, do you have to watch your movements in the public? Are there any restrictions on you?
There's recommendations more than restrictions, but the boys are pretty clear what sort of areas. It's not, you don't want to be going to any nightclubs underground or anything like that and mixing with the public, because that's where the COVID will get you. So obviously we have to do our rat test daily before we go into the club. Boys we have to be really careful with our movements. So avoiding those sort of indoor situations and mingling too close to anyone is the strong recommendation.
Have you worn a hole in your nose or anything? Or the rat test? How many of them do you do? Every third day, is it, or?
No, every time we go to the club, they get done. So.
Oh my God.
I guess roughly 5 a week, I'd say on average. Yeah.
Goodness me. Hey, footy's back, B. Smith. You're watching tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to watch tonight. There's a bit of a rivalry building by the sounds of it, and I saw Jake Lever on the weekend who was saying he was pretty excited. There's a bit of it. The rivalry is definitely real, so I'm looking forward to the first quarter. I think it could be on early. Well,
if buts and candy nuts, there's a cup sitting in someone's cabinet and it's not the Bulldogs. So,
exactly.
That's exactly right. Hey, have a great week. Good luck for Sunday, and thanks for being part of our footy team moving forward, B. Smith. We love your work.
Looking forward to the year. Thanks, fellas.
Great work, Brodie Smith. They're ASIC Couriers, SA family business. They do great things for your business. No matter what it is, ASIC can deliver it safely and on time. So don't risk it. ASIC with ASIC Couriers.
Delighted to have Brodie part of the team this
He's
year.
a ripper.
And, if Brodie's part of the team, it means that Gordo is part of the team. So look forward to that as the year progresses.
I reckon Gordo just turned 60, or he is turning 60.
Well done.
I've got to have a
Happy
froth
birthday,
with
Gordo.
him this weekend.
Hey, before we get to a break, we'll check the traffic on the other side. The great Kevin Sheedy to continue the footy chat in the lead up to the first game of the season. Melbourne and the Bulldogs have just arrived at the MCG to get ready for that, and it will be a bit willing, you think, in the first quarter. For Florio Milk, a little bit of sport going around. There is COVID issues in the AFLW final season. Collingwood have asked the AFL and the AFLW to push their game. Multiple players have been affected. It is a cutthroat match against the Brisbane Lions. It was scheduled for Saturday. It has been postponed with plans beyond unknown for that. So we're waiting to see how that all plays out. The North Melbourne Fremantle match will go ahead, but they're waiting to see. As soon as they can tell us more, they will. And Neville Jetta, you spoke to earlier this week, last week, won the Phil Walsh Scholarship for the AFL. His AFL career may not be over. He's just been put on Collingwood's COVID top-up list. So there's a chance that Neville, who missed out in the grand final for the D's, could be lining up as a Pie, his new club, where he's a development coach.
Goodness gracious me.
Going to see a few of those stories,
I think Brycey Gibbs is on ports.
Hamish Hartlett's.
Hamish Hartlett's on ports.
Yep. Luke Puddington from Glenelg is on
Crows
list. So you might see some of the SNFL stars, the VFL stars and newly retired stars as top-ups in season 2022. Sheeds next, but first, if you're buying your first Mazda, trading in or servicing, it's got to be edwardstownmazda.com.au.
Slippery conditions causing a few hazards today, so do take some extra care on the wet roads. Got a smashed old Ranella panel at Tinga Road at Pimpala Road. Another one at Clarence Gardens, Cross Road at Winston Avenue. Bridgewater got a tree down across the freeway near Kerry Gully Road, causing extensive delays inbound. And Eastwood lights playing up on Glen Osmond Road near Young Street. Also look out for a burst watermain at Northfield Grand Junction Road near Hampstead Road. 6 KFC original recipe chicken pieces for $6.95. Only on the app before 6 p.m. Not everywhere, not forever, and not in Queensland or New South Wales. Max 2 each, delivery fees apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
AFL is back for 2022. And 5AA is Adelaide's football leader. Catch every game, live, local and passionate, with South Australia's best call team. Stephen Rowe, Tim Ginniver, Mark Bickley, David Wildy, Will Goodings and Tom Wren.
That's a brilliant goal!
Adelaide's best local AFL coverage in 2022 is 5AA football.
Ned's Same Race Multi is available on meetings all over the world. Pump up your odds by selecting 2 to 4 runners to finish inside the top 4. Available across all 3 codes. Take it to the Ned's level.
T's and C's apply. Visit the website for details. Gamble responsibly.
Let me tell you about St Kilda Hotel. Legend has it, long before the Schnitties and St Kilda playground over there, this pub was a hideaway for the daring few who wanted a cold one after hours. A watchman kept lookout for cops, and this secluded little pub became a sanctuary for the few that knew about it. Still is. Good old school hospitality. Now you know. This table's waiting for you at St Kilda Hotel.
Summer might be over, but with Mad March upon us, now's the perfect time to get into your local Vinnie's shop and pick up a bargain. Until Sunday, you'll save 40% off all clothing and shoes at all Vinnie's SA shops. Choose from a range of affordable pre-loved clothing, including top name brands. And remember, shopping at Vinnie's is good for our environment, good for you, and good for our community. Find something unique at a Vinnie's shop near you.
No one likes to wait, especially if you're waiting for something really amazing, like a new Mazda. Lucky, you won't have to wait too long at Mawson Lakes Mazda. Right now, you'll find new stock and demos right across the range, which means there's no compromise. You'll get everything you want and love in your new Mazda. Get behind the wheel of your dream Mazda sooner. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city.
10 to 5, Sheed shortly. The 2022 AFL season is back, and so are the crowds. We are full capacity at Adelaide Oval. Woohoo! And if you want the best seats in the house, become an exclusive Adelaide Oval Football Club member. Adelaide Oval footy members get unrivaled access to the Western Stand to cheer along all the Crows games and the Port games. That's the beauty of this. Adult membership starts at $5.60, and you'll also get lots of exclusive offers. Footy's back, so are the crowds, so join in. There's nothing better than live football. Become an exclusive Adelaide Oval footy member and get access to every single footy game throughout the season. Visit adelaideoval.com.au/membership.
Hi, I'm John Darley from Advance SA in the Upper House of Parliament. I am re-standing for my party, Advance SA. Advance SA will continue to fight for fair taxes and protections for our vulnerable citizens, including the aged. We will continue to serve all South Australians. For my policies, visit johndarley.com.au. Authorised by M. Darley, 109 Grant Avenue, Toorak Gardens, 5065. Advance SA.
Scraped your caravan? Walker Crash Repairs, an RAA approved caravan crash repairer.
This is Rowey's Sport Show.
9 minutes to 5, the great Lee Matthews after 5 o'clock, the voice of World Formula One David Croft, and thanks to the Baroe Hotels, your chance to win $250 with Rowey's Mystery Sports. But BL Shipway, it is a South Australian institution who've been looking after SA's hydraulic and pneumatic needs for over 70 years. Shippy brings us Kevin Sheedy.
Kevin Sheedy. Don't ever let any club or player dominate you.
Sheeds, welcome. Footy's back, you little beauty.
Look, very exciting weekend coming up, particularly starting with the grand finals of last year. I think it's been a very, very good move.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't do it every year, but, for a club like Melbourne to probably, need to get to and furl their flag in front of their members, I think that was one idea that the AFL do well. Not really keen about the 50-metre rule without 25 metres, but anyway, I get that wrong. But anyway, I think it's a good start.
Well, we put that to Brad Scott, GM of Football for Footy, not long after I spoke to you last week, Sheeds, and they said, well, we'll take it on advisement. And I said, well, you'd want to, because Kevin Sheedy's the ambassador for you bringing that rule in. And then he stiffened a little bit, old Brad. So, where do you place round one as a coach as far as importance? For me, it's the first time your fans get to see your team after a pre-season that you've added new players and you hope to improve on the areas you didn't last year. Where did you place it as a coach, Sheets?
Look, obviously, sometimes it's depending who you're playing. Like if you were playing Collingwood, Carlton or Richmond, which we didn't. But I always place it as a look, see what we had done right or wrong over the summer, because obviously, if you missed the finals the year before, you're looking at sort of 6 months.
Yes.
Which is a long time, particularly this year with, no hubs. So we really get back to a normal sort of footy season. And, of course, depending on the club that you're playing and where they ended up last year. So it's a look. I reckon it's a look.
Okay. Do you know your round one record for Essendon in 27 seasons? 19 wins, 8 losses. Not
I think
bad.
I might have taken it more serious than what I'm thinking.
Well, I had a look, and 84 you won the flag, and you won round one. 85 you did, but 93 was the outrider. You lost round one to the Eagles, but then went on to win the flag in 93.
Yeah, well, that happens. We had a bunch of kids. I played every kid I could the year before late.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't like that. But, we lost a couple of very ordinary games with poor performances because of trying kids. Yeah. And then we're very lucky to get up in 93, to be honest. And look, I think it was the year when only 12 or 13 wins we ended up on top.
Yes.
So that'd be the lowest wins on top of a ladder by a club for maybe 40 years or 50 years.
Yeah. New coaches, there's McRae for Collingwood, there's Sam Mitchell, Stewie Jews in the gun, well, some reckon that. Michael Voss, the second coming. Well, what advice would you give them all for round one?
Yeah, I think Vossi's really got to prepare himself for a good season with a futuristic top finals chances in the next couple of years. And it's great to see him back in the coaching position.
Yes.
Pretty similar to what I hope James Hird gets an opportunity one day. They're too good of people in football to miss out. and he's been out of head coaching for quite some time, but he would have been learning a lot over in Adelaide, so that's great. McRae, well, he's got a hard job. Coaching Collingwood isn't easy.
No.
Their expectations are always high. I mean, obviously, they've lost the most grand finals in footy, so he's got a tough job. And look, I think, Stuart, it's very into what happens up there. I don't think they ever get it right sometimes for the Gold Coast. Not the club, I just didn't think the AFL ever get it right by putting first game coaches in there at the start of a club.
Okay.
Not on.
No, yeah, I agree with that. Hey, in the last 11 years, Carlton have been 0 wins and 2 losses from their first 2 rounds. So Vossi would love to turn that around. Early wins, we were always taught, were diamonds. They're in the tin tank. You've got them in there and you could build a platform from them. Do you tend to agree as well?
Yeah, look, it's good to get games in early and see what you've got and play some young kids. I mean, I would play our first game every year. You know?
Wow.
I want to find out what I've got. And, a lot of people get nervous about that. I mean, obviously coaching with John over about 12 or 14 first games. But, you know, every sort of job you have is very different. It'll be interesting how Sam Mitchell goes. You know, he's got a great club that have won the most premierships since 1961 or something.
Yes.
So he's going to really, you know, and apparently he's got all the dedication to get it right. So, you know, it'll be interesting how Jeff Kennett's made that decision and gets it right after losing a class, obviously 4 times premiership coach.
Yeah, well, he is class, Sam
Big
Mitchell.
decision.
Yeah, it was. Absolutely. Hey, just on the local front, Ken Hinkley at Port, where do you see them? Do you think it's now or never for them with the list they've got and their dynamic?
I think he's a good coach.
Of course he is.
It's like Malcolm Blight. You know, John couldn't win him a premiership. The grand finals, and they couldn't win one. So he goes to Adelaide, wins 2 in a row.
So you reckon Ken needs to move? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no. What I'm saying is I think sometimes, you know, I reckon Geelong let Blight go too early.
Ooh.
And I think that, you know, after what's he been there, 8 years maybe?
10 years, Kenny.
10? Well, 10's a fair while, isn't it? But, you know, LNG's won in about 15 years with St Kilda. They've done no good since he left.
Absolutely.
Good luck trying to find a great... If you could find a premiership coach, you are so fortunate because you're going to do that due diligence now. If you're ever thinking of replacing a guy like Ken Hinkley or any other guy in the AFL, just don't wobble off and go, it's about time. Well, Richmond said that about Tom Hayfield. You know, it was incredible. They sacked Tony Jewell 1 year after you won the premiership, but then got him back and then appointed another 12 coaches.
Well, here's the thing that's hanging over everyone this year. There's a bloke by the name of Alistair Clarkson just sitting there twiddling his thumbs.
He is like a fox sitting outside of Rabbitborough.
he is a fox sitting outside of Rabbitborough.
He's just licking his lips saying, I've got a very good deal going on somewhere. And I wonder how many little bunnies are down that borough.
And last one, Matty Nix at the Crows. We're all hopeful for another growth year. Now, 7 wins last year. I've said 10, but what would we know? It's just a guess. That's a hope, if anything. Well, what do you think?
Yeah, I think you're pretty well on the ball. You know, just keep building on the wins.
Yeah.
I have to do that sometimes. I mean, you know, particularly when you're building, you know, another win or 2 or 3 is pretty handy, you know. I mean, even Ben Ruttner's probably like that too. He'd like to probably win 13 or 14 wins this year and win a final, you know. So it's very difficult, obviously. It's a very open year. I definitely don't think the Bulldogs and Melbourne are just walk in and start because, you know, coming off COVID and hubs for 2 years, we have no idea who's going to improve. Someone's going to come out of they're going to be a bolt right out of the blue. There'll be a club or 2.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, Sheed, strap yourself in. It's round 1. Great to chat, and I'll look after Shippy for you over here in South Australia.
See you guys.
Good work. Kevin Sheedy, our guest.
All thanks to BL Shipway.
Yeah, they're chockers with stock. Truly have the best team to support you. So get into BL Shipway. They've been looking after your hydraulic and pneumatic needs for 95 years. Now, if you can't get into their huge Richmond Road location, they will send a Ryco 247 van your way. BL Shipway, bring us Sheeds.
The great Lee Matthews next.
The 2022 state election is here, and 5AA is keeping you informed.
Building a stronger future for South Australia.
Join David and Will Saturday nights for up-to-the-minute updates as the numbers roll in. We'll keep you informed during our live coverage of the Power Lions clash, followed by rolling election coverage right through until midnight.
I'm making the promises I know I can deliver.
The 2022 state election with David and Will, Saturday night on Adelaide's 5AA. Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Mostly clear tonight, a low of 20 with the 5 o'clock news. I'm Michaela Kamarik.
All new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander with 10-year warranty, 10 years capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi.
Paramedics have spoken of their anguish after another man died overnight waiting for an ambulance. The man in his 50s had fallen and was a priority 2, waiting 2 hours. He then lost consciousness and stopped breathing, and a crew was immediately sent from the RAH. Daniel was one of the paramedics attending and says it's heartbreaking.
It's a daily thing, sadly, for a lot of crews at the moment. It's a bit of a fight every day to go to work and do our job, but it's, the nature of our job is people sometimes pass away, but these are avoidable deaths that if we were to meet our KPIs and get there on time, these people might be here.
Former Prime Minister John Howard has been campaigning in Adelaide as new polling shows the Liberals are heading for a landslide defeat on Saturday. He and Premier Stephen Marshall visited the marginal electorate of Newland to spruik the party's economic performance. Mr Marshall says voters need to think very carefully about going back to Labor.
The election is on Saturday. Now is not the time to be taking a risk. South Australia's got incredible momentum. We've had record employment, record exports, record investment in South Australia.
A YouGov poll out today shows Labor clearly ahead of the Liberals, 56 to 44%, and Labor leader Peter Malinauskas ahead of Mr Marshall as preferred Premier. SA has recorded an increase in COVID cases today with 3,122. 136 people are in hospital, including 10 in ICU. No further deaths have been reported. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says peace talks with Russia are beginning to sound more realistic, but he said more time was needed to reach a breakthrough. The BBC's James Laydale has more.
Ukrainian negotiators said they were discussing a ceasefire and troop withdrawals. A Kremlin spokesman said the talks were difficult but positive. Neither side, however, has said how and where progress is being made. But we got a small hint from President Zelensky of what might be part of any deal, hinting at Ukraine's moving away from joining the NATO military alliance. Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said the negotiations were about ensuring the neutral military status of Ukraine, so that, in his words, no threats against Russia ever came from its territory.
Turning to 5AA Sport.
Call 131 740 and pay less for any auto part at Hotline Auto Parts. Call today.
The Crows have announced 3 recruits will make their debut in the club's 2020 season opener. Josh Rochelle, Jake Saligo and Jordan Dawson will pull on their boots this weekend. The game against Freo will be played at Adelaide Oval on Sunday afternoon. It's Adelaide United up against the Western Sydney Wanderers tonight at Coopers Stadium, and Pakistan has moved to 2 for 239 early on the final day of the Test match against Australia in Karachi. Pakistan needing 267 for victory. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Complete windscreens, same-day service and best price guaranteed. Proudly South Australian since 1976. Complete windscreens.
Slippery wet on the road today. Do take some extra care. A few collisions too. One at Kernelite Gardens, Goodwood Road at Doncaster Avenue. Another at Old Ranella, Panelatinga Road at Pimpala Road. And we've got delays with another smash at Aldinga, Main South Road near Malpez Road. Bridgewater, tree down across the freeway near Carey Gully Road, causing extensive delays inbound. And Eastwood, lights playing up Glen Osmond Road near Young Street. It's finally footy season. Join your host Jonathan Brown, Campbell Brown and Dino for Brownie's podcast. New episodes out now, available wherever you get your podcasts. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Showers easing tonight, a low of 20. Sunny tomorrow, 29. And Friday, cloud clearing, 29. Right now it's 19. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News Tonight.
The poll that says Stephen Marshall is about to lose the election. See the moment security guards kick out a man with an assistance dog. Did they go too far? Tiny toy time bomb, the urgent safety warning to parents. The link between endometriosis and ovarian cancer. And Australians now allowed to travel to a favourite overseas destination. I'm Brenton Raglis. See the full story on 9 News tonight at 6.
Make racing even more exciting with Ladbrokes Same Race Multi. Add up to 4 runners to a Same Race Multi and watch your potential payout increase. Ladbroke it with a Same Race Multi. T's and C's apply. See ladbrokes.com.au for details. Gamble responsibly.
G'day, it's Jared for Wayville Mitsubishi. The Wayville showroom on Goodwood Road is going through a rebuild, so right now you'll need to enter via Goodwood Road for sales and via Davenport Lane for service. So it's business as usual at Wayville Mitsubishi, driven by Australian Motors.
My name's Ash, and I've been in Ambo for 7 years. I'm not being paid for this ad. I'm doing it because I want people to know the facts. Ramping's worse than ever, and it's not just because of COVID. It could be you or a loved one that needs an ambulance, and the simple fact is you might not get one in time. Lives are at risk, and Stephen Marshall isn't doing enough. At the coming election, vote Labor like your life depends on it, because it just might.
Authorised R. Martin, Australian Labor Party, South Australian Branch, Adelaide.
Have you been putting off your life admin? Sorting out your wardrobe can wait, but sorting out your will shouldn't. At Morris Blackburn, our expert lawyers make setting up your will simple. Search Morris Blackburn My Life Wills to complete the online form. We'll then schedule a 30-minute consultation to discuss your needs, prepare your will, and store it at no extra cost. To protect your loved ones, head to morrisblackburn.com.au/create my will.
This is Rowey's Sports Show. Stephen Rowe and Leith Forrest.
7 minutes after 5, big hour on the way. The voice of World Formula One, David Croft, live from Bahrain, ahead of the Bahrain Formula One GP this weekend. Thanks to the Bros. $250 could be yours if you can identify 4 of our mystery sporting voices. And we shouldn't make him wait, Rowey, because when you've got the greatest of all time on the line, you don't mess around. For a legendary pub with a legendary schnitzel, there is a table waiting for you. Where? At the St Kilda Beach Hotel.
Lee Matthews.
Oh, the post is broken. Matthews in it. Oh, talk about a he-man.
On the 5AA Sports Show.
Lee Matthews, you great man. Welcome.
Well, Stephen, great to be with you again. If I could ever allowed to go to Adelaide again, we could go and have a meal at the St Kilda Beach Hotel. I reckon.
Well, Lee,
I don't know when I'll get out of Brisbane or Melbourne, seriously. I don't think I'm going anywhere else in this anytime soon.
Let me tell you this, Kane, the owner, with Kim, they are huge Lions fans. Now, he's talking about putting a Lee Matthews replica statue at the front of the hotel. That would be great.
Anyway, that's good. I think it's always great when you're going into round one off and say this is the only stage of the year where all 18 teams can have a little bit of sort of what you call optimism for no winners, no losers. Come the end of the weekend, there'll be 9 teams that have lost, and they're sort of starting a game behind. So that's why the round one, when everyone starts equal, that's always exciting. I love the fact tonight that there's the not a grand final rematch. The 2 grand finals are not playing off, but are playing again at the home ground where you can unfurl the flag. I reckon that should happen every year.
Spot on.
It just seems to me, and because if you've won the premiership, doesn't matter whether someone mentions, say, the Gold Coast Suns. If the Gold Coast Suns win a premiership, they're going to be gigantic in southeast Queensland. So they get a full stadium there for whoever they play. So I just love what's happened. You know, sometimes you think, how come we haven't done this forever? It seems such a logical thing to do.
It is, and that's the team's reward. Imagine all those Melbourne supporters that couldn't get to Perth, that have been waiting all those years, and now round one's here tonight, and they can do it. I had a look at your record as a coach for round one, Lee. It's 11 wins, 7 losses. So as a coach, how do you prepare for round one? You don't want to make it any bigger than what it is, but crikeys, it's a big game for players.
Well, I know it is, because it is, as I said, it's the only time you start from scratch. You haven't played a game yet from Whitford. And that's true, but I kind of think all you're doing is starting the routine, in a sense, that you're going to virtually repeat for the next 22, 23 weeks. I can't remember. I mean, one of those things you probably got to avoid a little bit if you can is that temptation to get a guy player on the field because it's round one.
Like, in other words, if they're not ready to play, then don't play them in round one. That's the only, maybe, philosophy what I would have. But I can't recall ever... I mean, automatically you're coming off a summer and a pre-season, but I can't remember any particular other things that stuck in my mind that were pertinent to round one, rather than... Except even these days, you don't want to go to Perth round one if you can help it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's bloody hard to win in that far away in Perth. You know, you go to the other... It's like going to another country when you go to the other side of Australia. But I didn't even know that was my... I think my winning sort of record as a coach was about 60%, something like that. So to be honest, 11-7 is almost that.
That's about it. That's about it. Yeah. I looked that up.
No better, no worse.
No, beautiful.
Worse than my averages, I don't think.
Yeah. I asked Sheeds this before. Advice for first-year coaches. So Vossi's first year at Cunt, we know it's his second gig, but, you know, Sam Mitchell at Hawthorn and Craig McRae at Collingwood. There's three really big clubs. Is there any extra pressure? What advice would you give those three lads?
Well, Michael Voss has been there before. Now, I call it the coach's curse. Now, the senior coach's curse. Like, the senior coach's curse is, of all the people in the footy club, including the players, the senior coach is the buck stops position. Like, everyone thinks whatever happens with the team, they don't blame the players, they blame the coach, or give the coach credit. You know, and either way, that and as we know, what does the coach do with the 2 hours of the game? He sits in the stand and watches. Doesn't he really? So that basically the players are actually the ones that are going to give you your emotional response to what happens in the couple of hours. And I kind of think it's like a curse, you know, because that is the way it is. You got to think what you're doing is responsible for what the team does, and everyone else certainly does. When obviously, as we know, even more so these days. I mean, you've got a coaching group between the senior coach and the players. So now, Craig McRae has never experienced that. Sam Mitchell has never experienced that. Michael Voss has. And I happened to be speaking to Voss a while back, and I said, you know, good luck with the coach's curse, because he kind of knows that ultimate responsibility for the team performance just lays with the senior coach and virtually no one else. In a not in a practical sense, because we know practically it's ridiculous, but in a kind of like an accountability sense. So I reckon that's the coach's curse. And I always say the first time that either Sam Mitchell, Hawthorn lose, or Collingwood lose under Craig McRae, it will be the loneliest job in the world all of a sudden. Because I'm now because Craig McRae is saying to us, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy the experience. Now, I don't know whether you ever coached, but in terms, I coached about 500 games. The 2 hours of the game, I never enjoyed that 2 hours. Okay. I mean, you might enjoy what happens if you've won and the aftermath and all that kind of stuff, but the 2 hours of the game, I reckon it's almost a curse, because you're still a spectator at that point. Anyway, so the advice you have to get is you've got to conquer that, because you can't be a stress carrier. So just because you feel like for instance, the last time I would speak, not at Collingwood so much, but in the Lions era, the last time I would speak to the team as a group would be hour and a half before the game.
Wow!
Because I could feel myself getting so tense, and I used to dry roots. I used to vomit as a coach, not a player. As a coach, I used to get so nervous. I felt, you know, I'd almost I'd have to be very careful what I ate the morning of the game. And I don't want the players to see you like that. So I largely kept away from the players of that hours before the game, because the worst thing a coach can be is a stress carrier.
Yeah, that's great advice.
And your anxiety overflows onto the players, which I've got a feeling, Stephen, another sport, but I reckon that might have what happened with Justin Langer.
Yeah,
He's a bit of a stress carrier because he looked like he was tense to everyone else. And I think the players probably thought he made a tense environment, when clearly in that sport, you know, you're sitting together in the dressing rooms for about 30 hours, aren't you?
No, that's a good point.
But don't be a stress carrier, so you've got to do the best you can, and you know you're responsible, you know you're accountable, but don't ever let the players see you when you look like you're a nervous wreck. Not a good thing to do.
Well, that's a great life lesson too. Don't take the stress home to home life, you know. If you don't be a stress carrier. It's good advice.
That's valid too. That's valid too if you can.
Buddy Franklin is closing in on 1,000 goals. He's 915. He's playing GWS round 1. We said at the start of the show, should you be allowed to run out onto the oval? We heard Gil McLachlan say, I'm not encouraging it, but I'm not discouraging it. I tell you what, we'll never, ever, ever see anyone else kick 1,000 goals.
No, I think that's the case. You couldn't imagine footy's going to change enough in the decades ahead for that. People ran out onto the field. I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to arrest 10,000 people or 5,000 people. Something, I know Gil McLachlan probably can't say, be good. He's got to sort of discourage it. But it's sort of one of those wonderful things that has accompanied it, hasn't it? They kicking 100 goals or, say, kicking 1,000 goals. There's no other time the supporters might stream onto the field. And it's a bit of an old-fashioned tradition, but I like it. I
do.
Let me ask you a question, because I've been thinking about this myself. The last 15 years or so, which Buddy's played, have been the defenders and the defensive systems and team defence and all that kind of stuff has been so good. I mean, the other players who kicked 1,000 goals were all like Fenwick and full forwards, Coventry, Dunstall, Lockett. We're only talking the AFL now, obviously, aren't we? Because of the BFL, AFL, so shouldn't omit the Sandful people. But nevertheless, Gary Ablett Senior was a bit like Franklin, that he played all over the forward line a bit, but not necessarily forward. But the defences have been so good, right? And you don't get to play one-on-one as a big full forward anymore, do you?
No.
When we played in the 90s and the 80s, the full forward was largely playing on the full back, and most of the time it was like a one-on-one contest. Now, the full-time coaching has just removed that one-on-one aspect, because if you're that good one-on-one, you just don't get one-on-one contact.
No.
A third man goes in. Having said that, therefore, I reckon if Buddy kicked 1,000 goals, I reckon if you're comparing to the previous full forwards of any competition, any era, Lockett, Dunstall, all those kind of guys, I reckon you'd have to add 20% for the year he's played. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I know what you're saying. Yep.
Him getting to 1,000 is remarkable.
Remarkable.
And he's probably one of a kind, and he's probably the last of a kind, because he's not even the Fenwick and full forward. He's just a running tall forward. So amazing. And he's always said Gary Ablett Senior of the footballers that I've watched mostly over the last 50 years. I reckon his highlight tape's the best of them all.
Yes.
And Buddy's would be bloody good, wouldn't it?
Oh.
He's just been magnificent.
I got it here. He averages 3.12 goals a game. He's played 318 games for 995. Plug a locket if you want to compare. 281 games for 1,360. He averaged 4.83 goals a game. And if you think one of the best little fellas around was Eddie Betts of the last, 2 decades, 640 goals, he only averaged 1.82. Lee, you're smack in the middle of them. You kicked 915. I mean, that is... You could have been 1,000 goalie.
Well, theoretically. I think 800 behinds, can I tell you, just coincidentally. The two people in the VFL, AFL have kicked the most behinds happen to be Kevin Bartlett and myself.
Oh, stop it.
Kicked about 800 behinds. So we had a lot of shots, didn't we?
Jeez, Lee, tighten up. You would have been 1,000 if you had a kick straight. It might have been the boggy fields, the big boots and the crap footies.
I mean, the great full forwards of the Sandford would have been the same. I remember back in the early days when Peter Hudson, back when I first started Hawthorn, a lot of generations ago, we kicked 150 goals one year in the VFL in 1971. But he kicked 40% of our score.
Jeez.
So all the great full forwards and the Locketts, I suspect, and Dunstall played in a great Hawthorn team. He might not have kicked as the same percentage. But in other words, every time the ball went forward, it went to that bloke, didn't it? I mean, the same. You could have never had a great full forwards of your era playing in the Sandford.
Oh, Scotty Hodges was probably the best of my era by the length of the straight. No one came within a bull's roar of him.
But the ball would have been kicked in every time it went forward, wouldn't it?
A lot of times.
That's the way it happened. You know, the full forward sort of dominated the goal scoring, and again, the ball just tended to get kicked to them. But it's a different game now, isn't it, in that regard, which is why we think, well, you know, I remember when Buddy Frank kicked 13 goals at Launceston against I don't think we played against North Melbourne, I think it was. Like, I can remember some games, like there's a lot of games, like we've got to about 1,000 games of footy. A handful I can remember, mainly because one player, like I remember when Peter Hudson kicked 16 goals one game. I remember being in the stand watching Jason Dunstall kick 16 goals this week at Rowey. And I can remember being in Tasmania to see Buddy kick his 13 goals. So, and that's, we've lost that from the game, unfortunately.
We have.
Because one bloke dominating the scoring is so exciting.
I reckon it is. Lee, on that note, thank you and enjoy round one, and we'll speak to you next week.
Absolutely. See you guys.
Yeah, fantastic. The great man, Lee Matthews. We love our legends, he is. Whether it's footy or a legendary old pub like the St Kilda Beach Hotel, go and see Kane and Kim out there. Legendary Snitties. I couldn't get through mine, Lee.
Oh, it's huge.
If they did Schnitty's Brownlows, St Kilda Beach Hotel would win it. They would just crunch it out. They would win the Brownlow.
I actually raised the fork when I finished mine. I don't know if you just acknowledged the crowd in the dining room. So Ken Farmer kicked 1,417 goals, 1,417. Tim Evans kicked over 1,000, 1,044. And just looking at Bud, and people were saying, what about the current day players? So as you know, Buddy needs 5 for 1,000. The next closest, Jack Rewald at 715. Jack's in his final year. Josh Kennedy, the Eagles, 686. So he's in his final year. Hawkins. Josh, you would think. Tommy Hawkins is closer to the end, 665. And then there is not a current player above 500.
We'll never see it again.
Nope.
We will never, ever see it again.
So you know what? If you know anyone in Sydney, get them along to the game and run on the field.
Run out there. You won't
celebrate
get fined.
the great Budweiser kicking 1,000 goals. Lee Matthews. And again, thanks to Kane and to Kim. Funny
St.
story
Kilda Beach
too.
Hotel.
He's such a fan, isn't he, of Brisbane?
Oh, I loves Lee. Loves lines.
There's a massive footy jumper on the wall, and you asked Kane actually if that was his footy jumper. Had the number 16 on it. That would probably be Jonathan Brown's.
Big old Jono Brown.
Probably from a premiership year, but anyway, we won't bring that up. Oh, it might have been the horse too. Is that your horse? No, that's Maccabi Diva. Lee Matthews, let's check the traffic for your drive home. If you're buying your first Mazda, trading in or servicing, edwardstownmazda.com.au. Here's the traffic.
Wet and slippery on the roads this afternoon. Take some extra care. A few collisions around 2 near the airport, Apleys Hill Road near Warren Avenue. At Paraka, another collision, Montague Road near Mawson Lakes Boulevard, and delays at Medindi with a smash, Dutton Terrace at Northcote Terrace. Northfield, burst water main there, Grand Junction Road near Hampstead Road, and Eastwood lights are playing up. That's Glen Osmond Road near Young Streets. Get $20 off at Coles when you spend $250 or more online. Ends March 22. Head to coles.com.au and use promo code SAVE20. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 588.
Righto, 8223 0055 if you'd like to play Rowey's Mystery Sports. You've got to guess 4 sporting events. A little bit of detail, your chance to win $250 thanks to the Bros. Well, time to find out what is making news in the Channel 7 newsroom as we welcome Jane Doyle to the show. And Jane, this is concerning. COVID numbers are spiking.
They have. They've gone back over 3,000 now. That hasn't happened since late January. The Premier says don't panic, but there is news that the new Omicron strain is sweeping across the community and that is more infectious than the previous strain. Meantime, New Zealand is set to reopen to fully vaxxed Aussies in April. The ambulance unions released details of another death overnight. John Howard has been in town as Stephen Marshall calls in the big guns ahead of the weekend election. And we'll be crossing to our reporter Chris Reason, who's doing some extraordinary work out of Kyiv. His latest report from the Ukraine capital will be in our bulletin tonight at 6. Now, on the good news front, the wait is almost over for footy fans. Tonight's the night. The grand final rerun between Melbourne and the Western Bulldogs. So we'll have details of all that and the rest of the day's top stories for you tonight at 6 in 7 News. See you then.
Thank you, Jane. Jane Doyle and all the team at Channel 7. There's only one choice, 7 News tonight at 6.
Get back on the road in the all-new Toyota Hilux at Jarvis Toyota. A 2.8-litre diesel delivering 20 kilowatts more power, plus over 10% improved fuel economy. Rediscover the road in the all-new Toyota Hilux at Jarvis Toyota.
Hi, I'm Peter Berkowitz from Berkowitz Furniture. We're having a massive short, sharp sale right now. Save at least 25% store-wide. Save hundreds on sofas, chairs, dining and more, including our great Australian-made brands. Blink and you'll miss it. It's the Berkowitz Short Sharp Sale. Save at least 25% on RRP. We're not just a furniture store, we're an Aussie furniture family. Mile End Homemaker Centre. Sale ends Sunday.
There's a mute button on your TV remote. Don't you wish there was one on your partner's snoring? Thankfully, there is. Mute is a comfortable nasal breathing device that increases airflow through the nose by gently opening the airways during sleep. So there's less breathing through your mouth, which is often the cause of snoring, and less snoring means more sleep for me.
Hit the mute button on snoring. Always follow the directions for use.
You can't go past the IGA Big Deal Sale for great specials right across the store. Like Arnott's Shapes, Jats or Savoy, 140 to 250 gram selected varieties, $1.60 each, half price. Now at your local IGA. Offer ends March 22. Participating stores only. Excludes Foodland.
Stephen Marshall wants to spend $662 million on a basketball stadium. Labor will spend that money to fix ramping, starting with 400 more doctors and nurses.
Authorised R. Martin, Australian Labor Party, South Australian Branch, Adelaide.
The state election is this Saturday, and polling booths are open between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. When you go to vote, remember to wear a mask and bring your EasyVote card. Not sure how to find your nearest polling booth? Just check the back of your EasyVote card, or you can use the polling booth finder on the MySA.gov app, or visit ecsa.sa.gov.au. Your vote, your voice. Authorised by M. Sherry, Electoral Commissioner.
Walker Crash Repairs. For easy insurance repairs on your caravan, get it fixed right with Walker Crash Repairs.
This is Rowey's Sports Show.
26 minutes after 5, just before we get to the mystery sports. Let's head to Pakistan.
There's a wicket.
Thanks to Fleury Abel. Only taken about a day or so.
3 for 250. Here's the equation. Pakistan need 256 runs off 62.5 overs. Australia needs 7 wickets. Abdullah Shafiq scored 96 off 305. And I got a feeling with Stark and Cummins reverse swinging it, they're going to run right through them.
Well, look at Fawad's stance at the crease. Like, you think you're a chance every time. So fingers crossed. Hopefully more wickets before we finish at 6 o'clock.
Our dude dropped out.
Oh,
the
Dougie
listener
from Blakeview, you need to call us back. We have our mystery sports.
Rowey's Sports Show, Mystery Sports.
There's a man who really does deserve the applause.
It's your turn for the narrative for this special moment.
He's in big trouble! The emotion overflows as it often does.
Even if you don't get them all right in order, you're still a winner because you'll win $50 thanks to the Borough Hotel Group to spend at any of the great pubs.
Hello, Dougie at Blakeview. Away you go.
I can't hear him again, can I?
Oh, we've played it 8 times.
Mystery Sports.
Come on now.
There's a man who really does deserve the applause.
It's your turn for the narrative for this special moment.
He's in big trouble! The emotion overflows as it often does.
Okay, Dougie. Number 1?
I would have no idea. I'm sorry.
Okay, number 2?
Super Bowl 2008.
Okay, number 3?
No, I'm not sure.
Okay, nothing. Number 4?
Is it a boxing match?
Dougie, with all due respect, the worst contestant we've had in the history of this game that's only been going for 2 weeks.
We do love you,
Now,
Dougie.
that's no disrespect. We love you, Dougie.
I just heard the competition and I thought I'll give it a crack.
No, good man. No, you got through, Dougie.
I got through, and it would be great. While I've got you here, it would be great to hear from someone from the Stadium Management Authority how they're going to get 50,000 people through the gate on Sunday and check everyone's COVID vaccination passport if you get an opportunity to
Great
have
question.
someone on.
Dougie, we had the new boss, Nick, wasn't a question for them, but we might do that tomorrow.
Very good.
Dougie, that's a great contribution. You get a $50
well done.
Barrow Hotel
Hey,
Group voucher.
Dougie, which Super Bowl did you say?
2008.
All right, so people can rule that out. It is not the 2008 Super Bowl.
Okay.
Not one of those. So there you go. That's helped you. Doug's actually helped
Well
you.
done, Dougie.
Thank you, Doug. trying
How's
to...
it going?
Hey.
How's this going?
First 2 went off in 2 weeks. You said make it harder. It's too easy.
okay.
I made it harder, and now you're unhappy it's hard.
Now it's $300 tomorrow for the Bro Hotel.
$300
Okay, well,
tomorrow.
that's okay.
Monday to
there.
Thursday, 5 to 8. Enjoy main course dinner for half price, only at the Albion Hotel, and a clue on the way at $500.
Okay.
That'll give you guaranteed one of them. So don't worry about that.
Okay, we're building.
And Dougie's helped you because you know that particular Super
was I a
Bowl
bit hard
is
on Dougie?
not in it. No.
But Dougie come back beautifully. We will ask the SMA that. So they've got to check everyone's COVID vaccination status before they get into the game.
Yeah.
So if there's over 40,000 there, what's that sort of lineup going to be?
Well, you'd want to get there early.
Great question, Dougie.
They did it at the Ashes with a big crowd there. It wasn't 40,000, but they did with a big crowd there. Get early. Avoid disappointment. We're going to take a short break. On the other side, if you love motorsport, you want to hear this. The voice of Formula One, David Croft.
Introducing the Drive Car of the Year. The all-new Kia Sportage. Awarded for its new petrol turbo engine that gives you progressive performance. The Kia Sportage has a boldly sculpted sportsback design and soft touch leather interior, making it a natural leader. Kia Sportage, the Drive Car of the Year. To find out more, visit kia.com.au or visit your nearest Kia dealer.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Hi, I'm Stephen Marshall. This election is about who you trust to give you certainty for the future. With our strong recovery, there's been more people in work than ever before. Our growing economy means that there's more to spend on what matters, fixing our health system and lowering your costs. The choice is clear. Risk it all with Labor or back our plan that's working, building a stronger future.
Authorised by S. Meldrum, Liberal Party of Australia, SA Division only.
Want quality wine at the best price in Australia? Then join the Sky Club at skysellers.com.au for just $50 a year, and you'll get a 6-pack of the Boss Reserve Barossa Shiraz worth $150 absolutely free. Sounds hard to believe, but it's true. And as a club member, you'll save up to 81% off retail on selected wines every single day of the year. Join now at skysellers.com.au. That's skysellers.com.au.
This is Adelaide's FIVEAA.
Good afternoon, I'm Michaela Kamarik. A review has been launched into another death of a patient while waiting for an ambulance, the 5th in 8 days. SA has recorded an increase in COVID cases with 3,122 recorded today. The UN Refugee Agency says 3 million people have now fled Ukraine 3 weeks after Russia's invasion. And the AFL season gets underway tonight with the grand final rematch between Melbourne and the Bulldogs. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Greasy conditions today on the roads, take some extra care, and few collisions too near the airport, one on Tapley's Hill Road near Warren Avenue, another one at Medindi, Dutton Terrace at Northcote Terrace, and Aldinga. Got a collision there, Main South Road near Malpas Road. Bruce Watermain at Northfield, Grand Junction Road near Hampstead Road, and Colonel Light Gardens, another collision, Goodwood Road at Doncaster Avenue. Jack's Tyres and Auto are now open at Gillis Plains in Edwardstown. Call Jack's today to make a booking. Jack's Tyres and Auto. Peace of mind driving. Search Jack's. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Showers easing tonight, sunny tomorrow, a top of 29. Right now it's 20 degrees. More news at 6 o'clock and as it happens on 5AA.
Come on in.
We open our doors to people we trust and care about. And for over 85 years, South Australians have been opening their doors to Rest Haven. In turn, we've been opening doors to an easier, better life at home. From personal care to help with the shopping and social outings, you'll welcome the care that Rest Haven brings.
Fancy a wine? You'll find a huge hand-picked selection at your local independent SA family liquor store, FIVEAA. Or if you fancy a beer, you'll find the very best local, imported and craft beer at FIVEAA too. But if you fancy spirits, you'll find whiskies, gins and liquors for all tastes at FIVEAA. And you'll find friendly service and advice too. Whatever you fancy, you'll find it at FIVEAA, your local independent SA family liquor stores for over 45 years.
When you want a retractable
retractable door screen, you want uninterrupted views and natural ventilation combined with protection from insects. You want Phantom Screens. Our custom-made retractable door screens can be colour matched to your existing decor and span up to 7 metres wide. And they disappear out of sight when not in use. A screen that's there 1 minute, gone the next. From the hills to the coast and everywhere in between, let the fresh air in with Phantom Screens. Get inspired online at phantomscreens.com.au.
We're Lumo Energy SA, fully Australian owned, locally focused, proud community partner of the Adelaide Fringe. Oh, and we have great deals on electricity and gas too.
And Lumo Rewards.
Ah yes, and local offers and discounts with Lumo Rewards. You really do get more with Lumo SA. Call 131 5866 or search Lumo. SA residential customers only. Lumo Energy SA not available in all areas. Eligibility criteria and conditions apply. See website for details.
The state election is this Saturday, and polling booths are open between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. When you go to vote, remember to wear a mask and bring your EasyVote card. Not sure how to find your nearest polling booth? Just check the back of your EasyVote card, or you can use the polling booth finder on the MySA.gov app, or visit ecsa.sa.gov.au. Your vote, your voice. Authorised by M. Sherry, Electoral Commissioner.
Scraped your caravan? Walker Crash Repairs, an RAA-approved caravan crash repairer.
This is Rowey's Sport Show.
25 minutes to 6.
The first F1 race of the season is just days away. The global voice of F1 is my next guest live from Bahrain, David Croft. Crofty, welcome.
Rowey, how good to see you, my friend. Welcome to another year of F1.
Yeah, we can't wait. The anticipation of this race and this season, Crofty, I think it's massive. Mercedes and Red Bull hate each other. Now, that's a big word, hate. I don't like using it, but they hate each other.
Do you really think they hate each other?
Yes, I do.
Is it just okay? All right. Well, let's start serious, and we'll get on to the light stuff a bit later. I don't think they hate each other. To be fair, I think there is a healthy respect on both sides for what both teams have achieved. However, I don't think there's any love lost between the teams and the team principals. And certainly one would rather the other wasn't doing quite so well, because the other would be doing an awful lot better, if that makes sense. Yeah. Red Bull had a domination of the sport, didn't they, 2010 to 2013. The engine regs changed, Mercedes took over. Red Bull would like to get that domination back. Again, Mercedes would like to stay as constructors' champions. It's just the way it works in life. You know, it's a bit like England and Australian cricket teams, yeah? I'm not expecting them ever to really like each other, but they know that they need the other one, because without the other one, victory is just a bit hollow.
Yes.
You know, you've got to have an age-old rivalry. Yep. But what we really need in Formula One is Ferrari to step up to the plate, make it a three-way fight. Whether that happens or not, I don't know, but they're in a good place at the moment.
That is true. It's going to be a must-watch season. Verstappen v Hamilton, you know, Toto Wolff v Christian Horner. They're going to be amazing duels.
Christian's already firing off the first salvos. He did an interview with an English newspaper, a British newspaper, and said that he wasn't the tax XL living in Monaco. Revealed that Lewis Hamilton actually wanted to join Red Bull before he went to Mercedes, and actually admitted that he rather got the decision wrong, because he told him that he should go to Mercedes instead. It's the second time that I know of that Lewis Hamilton's inquired about joining Red Bull, and he wanted to be part of the Young Driver Development Programme way before he got into GP2 and then F1 with McLaren. So the opening salvos have been fired. I think Red Bull are coming from a position where they feel very confident at the moment of their car. Mercedes have pace in their car, but they are porpoising too, and it's bouncing around. What's the best way to put it? George Russell and Lewis Hamilton going down the straight in Bahrain look like they've been listening to the latest album by Parkway Drive, let alone going for a nice Sunday afternoon drive. It's bouncing up and down all over the place.
Yeah.
So they've got work to do to fix that. Red Bull, I think, unleashed a package right at the end of testing that showed just how strong they're going to be.
Yeah. You've been at testing in Bahrain. You just mentioned Red Bull and Ferrari are said to be ridiculously fast. You think Mercedes are foxing?
No, I think Mercedes have pace, but they can't unleash it properly yet because of the porpoising issues. I don't think they're sandbagging. I know they have done in the past, But I also think Mercedes are the sort of team that can develop really, really quickly and are not panicking. Because they're 8-time consecutive Constructors' World Champions. They know not to panic. They know how to fix things and get it right. This time last year, they didn't have the fastest car either, but they still went and won the Bahrain Grand Prix. But I don't think that's going to happen this time around. The deficit is just too big to Red Bull. I think Ferrari are the nearest challengers to Red Bull, and Ferrari basically had the luxury of not being in a title fight last year and been able to concentrate on these big regulation changes. They should be a force to be reckoned with this year.
Daniel Ricciardo, our man, he hasn't been able to test. He's got the vid. Will he be able to race? Where's the story? Where's it at with Daniel?
Everything I know of from the team and everything I understand up to this point, Daniel Ricciardo will be racing in Bahrain this weekend. I've not heard anything different. Last time I checked in with the team was yesterday, and they're fully expecting Daniel to be okay to race. So being fit enough is one thing. Being prepared enough is another. He missed 3 days of vital testing. I spoke to Lando Norris yesterday. I said, how's your neck? He went, the neck's not too bad. There's not too many fast corners in Bahrain. He said, we'd have done it in Barcelona. I'd have been on the massage table all day today rather than being on the golf course. But Daniel will be behind the curve a little bit.
Okay.
Fortunately, he's a decent enough talent to come through, isn't he?
He's. Hey, Oscar Piastri.
Yeah.
Crikey's. He's next man in for McLaren, isn't he?
Don't overplay this one.
Okay.
He's added to a roster of drivers that are available should McLaren need anybody. They've also signed up Colton Herta as a development driver. They've got Pato Award on their books as well, but I don't think he's got enough super license points. And then there's the likes of Nick de Vries and Stoffel van Dorn, who are working with Mercedes in their sim, who would also be in the frame. So Oscar's there on the roster. Oscar should really be on the grid because he's talented enough. And as the man who's just won the F2 championship, I think it's a crying shame that he's not on the grid this season. He's a fine driver. He's a really good bloke. He hasn't got the budget to buy his way into a seat. So he's going to have to just wait his turn. But his turn will come. What Alpine need for Renault's young driver development program, of which Piastri is part of it, is a second team, is a B team, is maybe a new team to come into the sport that they can supply engines to and find some seats for one of their drivers, like an Andretti Racing, perhaps, over in the United States.
Yeah, the voice of F1, David Croft, our guest in Bahrain. Cannot wait for the F1s to start. Hey, Drive to Survive, how good is it? Bit of TV time for you, Crofty? Hey?
I'm led to believe I'm in it, but I haven't seen a single bit of Drive to Survive yet. Okay. I'll save it for the plane. Do you know what? I'll save it for the plane on my way to Australia. I'm coming out to Oz a little bit earlier, so I'm going to save it all for the plane there. Can I just plug this, by the way? I know you're in Adelaide, but I'm going to be spending a few days in Perth, and I'm going to be on stage in Perth doing like a one-man show, Ask Crofty show in Perth.
Stand-up.
A bit of stand-up, that's right. The man walks into a bar, says ouch, that sort of jokes, Let's get my dates. Dad jokes are the only jokes I do. Trust me, Rowey, on that one. Where are we? The 1st and 2nd of April Fool's Day in Perth. If anyone's going to Perth, come along to the show. There's a few tickets left on that one. And then Martin Brundle and myself are doing a big show in Melbourne at Plenary on the 5th. On Tuesday the 5th. So if you fancy a bit of Crofty and Brundle live in the flesh,
beautiful.
Get yourself down to the Plenary.
Okay, well, we'll have to get you some red wine.
Tickets.
Yeah, fantastic. Hey, one last one. Sir Lewis, changing his name.
Yeah, well, he's already changed his name to Sir Lewis because he's finally been knighted at Windsor Castle by the Queen. He took his mum along to that, to the investiture ceremony, and he's now including his mum's surname in his surname. I think it's a lovely gesture. I think it's a wonderful mark of respect for the woman that brought him up. And I know he has the attachment to his dad and that racing attachment and everything they went through in their racing career. But we should never leave Lewis's mum out of the equation. I think she's an absolute sweetheart. I really do. And I've met her on many occasions. Spent some great time with her, and I think it's lovely that Lewis is doing it. So her name continues on in the legacy as well. Whether I'm going to be able to fit it all in to, like some quick fire rapid commentary. I'm not quite sure, as some wag on Twitter tweeted, Lewis Hamilton now has more syllables in his surname than he has world titles. So I'm not sure I'm going to get it all in. I need to sit down with Lewis and say, right, how would you like me to reference this on air? Because it could be a problem saying it all. But, I'll
give it to us. What is it?
On that.
Sir Lewis Hamilton.
It's Sir Lewis Hamilton Larbalestia, I think is how you pronounce his mum's surname. I need to get the pronunciation as well. This is the sort of prep I was commentating.
Larbalestia, Give us one, Crofty.
Before the start of the season. No, it might just be, here comes Lewis. That might be the way forward.
Yeah.
But,
whatever you do,
we'll
you'll
see.
nail it. Crofty, we thank you for your valuable time. Cannot wait
Anytime.
to see you over here in Australia. All the best.
And you too. Take care, my friend.
Yeah, David Croft, the voice of F1, my guess.
Lights out. Bahrain this weekend. Starts on Friday.
I mean, honestly, how good is he?
He's the best.
So he's the F1 man, as Richie Beto was to cricket.
Correct.
As Liggett is to Murray Walker. He's just one of the...
Phil Liggett.
Phil Liggett. Who's our soccer man?
Peter Drury, your new man.
Drury, my new man. How lucky are we to get to speak to them? Hey, if you're in the Adelaide Hills, we're sitting here in the FIVEAA studio on the 4th floor. I'm looking out over Mount Lofty. It's a little grey outside because we've had a bit of a rain. There's a low cloud that looks like it's hanging over Mount Lofty to the Stirling Ranges, and I don't know whether visibility's low, but if you're up there, give us a call. It looks it looks like snow. Now, I know this is radio, we can't get it, but it's just a little soft, white, fluffy cloud cover over Mount Lofty. It looks unbelievable. Have a look at it. Looks like snow.
Let us know. 8223 0000. Shouldn't forget, too, the greatest of them all, Martin Tyler. Course, and he.
And who's the football? Dennis Committee.
Dennis Bruce.
Bruce McAnany.
Do you know what? Watching Buddy Franklin highlights last night, thinking how much we miss Bruce.
Yeah. And here's the thing about all of them for me. They don't waste a word, they don't waste a syllable, and they don't waste a gap. Their word economy, I wished I had any one of those three things.
Al Michaels?
I butcher everything.
Joe Buck? Al Michaels does the NFL.
Good. Yeah,
Joe
he's
does
good.
the baseball. Very,
they
very
have that in common.
Lucky.
Very good.
And if you haven't watched season 4 of Drive to Survive on Netflix, please do.
Unreal.
It is the best by a mile.
Yeah. Shane Warne doco wasn't bad.
That's very good. There's a lot of good documentaries at the moment. We're going to take a short break. Touch on the Sixers next. Give you the chance to get along too. Take the family. First, the traffic for our great mates at Edwardstown Mazda. If you are buying your first Mazda trading in or servicing, edwardstownmazda.com.au.
A few smashes to look out for on the drive home near the airport, Tapley's Hill Road near Warren Avenue, another at Medindi, Dutton Terrace at Northcote Terrace, and one causing delays at Aldinga, Main South Road near Malpas Road. Burgess Watermain 2 Northfield, Grain Junction Road near Hampstead Road, and Mylane Works continuing Henley Beach Road near South Road. Cameras, Angle Vale Road, Angle Vale, Cavan Road, Dry Creek. At Burbank Homes, you choose the offer, solar savings, free upgrade, or cashback bonus. Only 1K deposit gets you started. T's and C's apply. Burbank.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The best painters have focus, flow. Everything disappears and the painting happens with ease. What if a paintbrush could take you to that flow state? That's what the Monarch Advanced Neo has been designed to do. World-class innovation, using an ultra-tapered technology which picks up and releases up to 25% more paint. Get the job done faster with guaranteed superior coverage and a smooth finish every time. And no brush marks. Available now at all paint specialists. Monarch Advanced Neo.
This is the sound of Julian's bargain price vacuum with deep express suction. This is the sound of Julian trying to fix his bargain price vacuum, which infuriates him deeply. Yes, this is the sound of bargain regret. When it comes to the important stuff, like insurance, don't risk it. Go to Amy instead, who offers great value cover you won't regret. Amy does. Before buying insurance issued by AAI Limited Trading as Amy, read the PDS at amy.com.au. TMD also available.
For over 38 years, Steinborner Automotive has always been well worth the trip. And right now, Steinborners are the place to go for top dollar on your trade-in. They will do any trade, and this month they're offering a further $1,500 bonus on all trade-ins. So go out to one of Steinborner's 8 locations for Hyundai, Mitsubishi, Ford and SA's best range of used cars. View all their used vehicles vehicles at steinborner.com.au. Steinborner Automotive. It's well worth a trip.
If you're planning an event, whether it's a small meeting with the latest in reliable technology or a large gala dinner full of glitz and glamour, you'll experience event excellence on every level at the Adelaide Convention Centre. Excellence in understanding your needs and delivering them to exacting standards is what we do. And we don't just aim for excellence, we go beyond. So for your next excellent event, the team is ready and waiting at the Adelaide Convention Centre, the centre of event excellence.
My name's Ash and I've been in Ambo for 7 years. I'm not being paid for this ad. I'm doing it because I want people to know the facts. Ramping's worse than ever, and it's not just because of COVID. It could be you or a loved one that needs an ambulance, and the simple fact is you might not get one in time. Lives are at risk, and Stephen Marshall isn't doing enough. At the coming election, vote Labor like your life depends on it, because it just might.
Authorised R. Martin, Australian Labor Party, South Australian Branch, Adelaide.
Mum? Dad?
Hey, honey.
I've met someone.
Oh my God, is he a doctor? A lawyer? Is he a surgeon?
He's a concreter. From Adelaide Exposed Concrete.
But why? Didn't you say so?
At Adelaide Exposed Concrete, we're committed to the highest standards of service, design and workmanship.
Finally, we've got a concreter in the family.
Adelaide Exposed Concrete. Best on ground, all year round.
Sail to the heart of landmark cities and picturesque villages with Phil Hoffman Travel and Seabourn, the world's finest ultra-luxury resort at sea. From complimentary bars and world-class dining to all-suite accommodation, Seabourn welcomes you to all-inclusive luxury cruising. Book a select 2022 or 23 voyage now for a complimentary 2-category veranda suite upgrade and a 50% reduced deposit. Contact Phil Hoffman Travel today. Visit pht.com.au.
Walker Crash Repairs. For easy insurance repairs on your caravan. Get it fixed right with Walker Crash Repairs.
This is Rowey's Sports Show.
9 minutes to 6.
Well, our mighty 36ers, they lost to the Breakers on Sunday. It was a disappointing loss, considering they were near the bottom and we were celebrating our championship win 20 years ago. So joining us is their CEO for the 36ers, Nick Barbado. Nick, welcome.
Thanks, Rowey. Thanks for having me on.
Nah, easy fix. We'll get to the game and where you're at moving forward, but I want to clear a few things up with Casper Ware. Did the club pursue him?
We did. We started that process with Casper and his agent about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and we got to a point where we had agreed personal terms with Casper at the very last minute. The Russian club, who he's contracted to, wanted a buyout, and it got to a stage where we were just too late in the piece because we needed him here for 12 games, and it just would have ran out of time. So it wasn't to be. But we wanted that piece and Casper to come here and join us, but it just wasn't to be for this time.
What was the buyout?
It was a significant sum, put it that way, Rowey, and it would have been just there was one. It was a money factor for us in terms of paying that, but also we also discussed internally. Is it a good thing to be sending money to Russia? How does that actually happen with all the sanctions in place at the moment? And I've noticed he's gone to another Russian club now who may have paid a buyout, but it would have been an internal sort of process. It would have been very difficult for another club outside of Russia to pay a buyout.
Yeah, I think I tend to agree with that. Who do you have in line now for the 36ers fans?
For this season, we're gonna hold what we've got in terms of our squad, and we've told the group just go into the training every day and put your best foot forward. They've shown this year that they can compete with anyone.
Absolutely.
So they just need the effort. They need and CJ, without any of the complications around COVID, we've been COVID disrupted throughout the whole year. So we just need a bit of consistency going forward, and I think we'll be fine for the rest of the season.
It was a bad loss Sunday, especially that we were back at the powerhouse, if you like, celebrating 20-year championship team, disappointing as it was. What are the club's expectation for the rest of the year, Nick?
As I said, the club and the players just need to work hard, go into training every day, and especially at home, show the fight that they've shown early on in the season and win for their fans. So that's the expectation. Yep. If they do that, then we're going to be happy.
Okay, why is it not there now?
There's a number of factors. I mean, the squad has been disrupted. We lost Isaac Humphries early in terms of, and that was a key piece for us. I can't remember a week when we haven't had some level of COVID disruption. So last week it was CJ. He was out for the whole week, and he came in for the game came out of COVID restrictions on Friday. This week we've got Todd Withers, who's out for 2 games. The week before it was another matter. So this week, touch wood, everyone's been on deck except Todd. So we just roll forward and we make the best out of what we've got.
Brilliant. Hey, Nick, all the best. Thanks for your time.
No, thank you. Thanks, Rowey.
36ers, they've got the Taipans this Friday. It is at home. You can get your tickets, adelaide36ers.com.au, and I can sniff a win this week. So get down there, the mighty 36ers.
Need to turn it around. Haven't had luck going their way. Fingers crossed they can do that. Speaking of that game against Cairns, Friday, tip-off at 7. Family pass up for grabs. First caller through, 8223 0055. And remember, every game this year, you can shoot to win $1,000 thanks to My Money House, and you can have a shot at $100,000 at the last game of the season. All you've got to do is register now, mymoneyhouse.com.au/36ers.
The last shout.
Love my 36ers. They'll bounce back this week. Hey, last shout. Good luck to Adelaide United tonight. They take on the Western Sydney Wanderers, 7:05 kickoff. Won 4 of our last 5. That 3 points would be super valuable. So AFL round 1 tonight. The Reds are on tonight. The Cricket's on tonight. My thumb is going to get an absolute belting. RSI. Here's how it stands. Pakistan need 252 to win. They've got 62 overs to get it. We need 7 wickets. It's lunch. Boring.
All right, stay tuned. Sports Day SA on the way. John Blake from 7. Don't forget to Rod Marsh's memorial tomorrow at the Adelaide Oval. So thoughts and condolences to all the family.
Change starts with your story. And now is the time to share your experience with the Disability Royal Commission.